Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who, The Abominable Snowmen, which is only got one episode surviving, which is on this DVD, and the other 5 are missing, so I've had to go back to loose cannon for the reconstructions. By the way, I forgot to mention this in the last review, Tomb of the Sidemen is the earliest surviving Doctor Who story in its entirety for the second Doctor, the earliest surviving second Doctor story in its entirety. Woo! So I can watch all 4 episodes on that DVD. Yes! Earliest... Well, I could for the Power of the Daleks and the Moon Base, but they... and Underwater Menace, but they were with animated or reconstructed episodes. So, yeah, Tomb of the Sidemen was the first time I could watch all surviving episodes on the DVD for the second Doctor. Of course, we've got quite a few first Doctors, but for second Doctor... It was Tomb of the Sidemen, and also from Season 5 we've also got Enemy of the World, and yeah, and then Season 6, every story apart from Invasion, which has animated episodes, and The Space Pirates. So animated episodes for the Invasion to see the complete story on the DVD without having to go to the reconstructions like Space Pirates. So, The Abominable Snowmen. This story isn't quite as fun or interesting as Tomb of the Sidemen. So we pretty much ended this 3-story streak of good, enjoyable, or well-written stories that started with the Faceless ones. But this story is not as bad as the Underwater Menace or the Macra Terror, in my opinion. I think this is on the same lines as the 2 historical stories from the last season. If we're just talking about Patrick Troughton ones, then the Highlanders. So, yeah, I think this one is okay. I don't hate it, but I think it's not quite that good. For starters, supporting characters' motives and attitudes are left, right, and centre. This warrior-type monk, he doesn't trust the Doctor to start with, but then when the Doctor's companions come along, he's like, okay, I made a mistake. And then he's very friendly. He's not quite, doesn't completely trust them, but he accepts their cooperation, then their help after he kind of gets attacked. And then he's very supportive of them. And does he survive? I think he might have... No, he dies. But he makes sure the Doctor promises to rid the evil from the monastery. So his motivations are all back and forth. He's a good character, but to start off with, he's a very big dick. But by the end, he's a nice guy. So he's all over the place, that character. I mean, I liked him best kind of around part 4 after his attack. But before the Doctor and Jamie left. So around, or just after the Doctor and Jamie left, and before Victoria tried to do something. Yeah, the story does meander a little bit. I think in part 3 there's a scene for about a minute or 2 where we just have 2 supporting characters just talking about the situation, and not really in the interesting story or character development process. I mean, just a minute or 2 out for these 2 people to talk about the Doctor and companions. Great. You've got 150 minutes to play with, and you waste 2 minutes on these 2 and don't even develop their personalities. They're not even that important in the long run. They do stuff, but they're not that important. Travers, again, is in a similar boat to that warrior person I started off with. He thinks the Doctor attacked his companion. By the way, good start with the, well, I say good / unconventional start. It starts off with someone getting killed off screen. Usually the stories start off a little bit quietly with the build-up to such a thing. But this time round, it's straight in. Which I have to say is a good thing, to be honest. But Travis's motivations, again, not his motivations, but his attitude is all over the place. He believes the Doctor is the baddie, then he finds the companions, he tries to rectify it. Then he tries to go off and find the Yeti on his own, and witnesses some things, and then comes back and he's kind of in a mental state. So he's a bit all over the place as well. The bishop's okay, and the master, not the master, but the master of the monastery, he's okay. They're alright characters. The master of the monastery is an old friend of the Doctor, and he's being controlled by the Great Intelligence, who is trying to... I don't know what the Great Intelligence's plan is. To, I suppose, get a physical form and use the Yetis to do something. Hang on a second. What was the Great Intelligence's plan? I'm serious. I don't think I actually heard it. I don't, or at least I don't remember it. If it was mentioned, it must have been in part 6 or towards the end of it, and I just forgot about it. But if not, the plan wasn't actually mentioned. What? I don't understand the plan or the motivation. If the Great Intelligence wants a body, he's got himself a body, but everything else, what? I don't know what's going on in terms of a villainous motivation or plan. I just realised this story has one giant flaw above some other flaws, but this one is giant. The villain hasn't got a plan, or at least we don't know it. And that's not like, oh, create mystery and all that. We don't know the plan, and if we do, we find out too late and then forget about it. That's not how you do a good story. I don't mind all the build-up and the mystery and all that, and trying to work out what's going on. The Tomb of the Cybermen, it worked well with seeing everyone doing these actions and then Klieg turning around being the villain, but that wasn't a surprise because we saw kind of them talking. So when it happened, we're like, well, it might have been a surprise, but we kind of half expected it. And then the Cybermen, their plan was pretty much simple. It was just to survive, and Klieg's plan was pretty much just told outright. Evil the Daleks, we know parts of the plan early on, and more is revealed as we go along, and then we get the surprise what they actually are up to. We get other villains, they have plans. Even the Macro, they just wanted Gas to survive and get the miners to get it for them. But even Zaroff, who had the worst motivation before this story, he had a plan. The Great Intelligence doesn't have... Well, it has a plan, but we don't know it. You mind telling us, script? We don't know what the Great Intelligence wants because of this. So, at this point, this is the worst villain... Not really plan, it's just that we don't know it. It's the worst executed plan, then. And if we knew what was going on, in terms of, this is the villain's plan, this is what he orchestrates, then it would be fine. It'd be a good plan, to be honest. But we don't know what he wants. So that's my main problem with this story. And I've just realised that. I'm sure there was a plan, but I don't think we ever heard it. Take it all over the world, most likely. Right, that's the biggest problem with the story, and now I've got a couple of other problems. The story kind of... It takes its time to even get there, and we're not even getting that much mystery, to be honest. It's mostly monk stuff, or Yeti stuff, and the silver balls. Once got some revelations about those out of the way, and the Yetis being the robots, it's not really that much. There's a couple of Yeti attacks, but there's still isn't a huge amount. And stuff some of the characters find out, such as Travis discovering it's the Bishop under the control. We've already know that, so it's not a surprise. We're waiting for the characters to catch up. And there's a whole little bit about Victoria, and just being put into a cell because they don't trust her safely. They think she's accidentally activated the Yeti, or intentionally activated the Yeti when messing around in the monastery, and Tomney tries to defend her, so he's locked up as well, and Victoria fakes being sick so she could escape, and she eventually ends up with the master, and she becomes kind of a voice for him and the influence of the Great Intelligence tries to get her to get the Doctor to take them away and get out of there so the Great Intelligence can carry on with its plan. And one of the characters who I mentioned in that scene, who was just talking to the other character, he's like, "Ooh, she's a devil woman just for faking being sick and escaping a prison cell." Yeah, because women are devils for that. It's not like she used any magic or tricks or anything. Well, it was a trick, but she didn't use any skills or magic or anything. It was just clever plan. Okay, good acting. It was clever plan and good acting. The work of the devil! Fucking idiot. No wonder he dies when he's trying to beg her to call off the Yetis. For starters, that won't work, idiot. Second of all, if she was the one behind it, why would she listen to you? Unless she was merciful. Thirdly, ooh! Clever plan and good acting equals devil woman. Fourth, you're an idiot. And 5, it's your own fault for being in that situation. You could have easily run away. Or even not be there in the first place. You could have gone with the other guys. But no. Because he's so sure Victoria's a devil woman. And he's certain that she's the one controlling the Yetis. He ends up getting killed when the Yetis invade. What an idiot. And that other guy, the other one that he was talking to in that scene about the characters in part 3, he doesn't do that much, to be honest. He's just there to talk and say stuff. He doesn't really do anything, unlike some of the other monks that are more important to this plot. And I don't even think he dies. I think he gets out. But, to be honest, he was such a nothing character. I don't care. And there's the guy on the door. Gate. He's okay, I guess. He gets a couple of good scenes on his own. But it's not a huge amount of importance apart from opening and closing the gates at times. And helping Travis. But there isn't a huge amount of importance for his character. He does get a few extra scenes, though. So he's alright, I guess. I take him over those two who had that conversation in part 3 because he did stuff and it was helpful to the plot, but he just wasn't a huge amount to it, like Tomney or the Master or the Abbott or the Warrior. What's his face? The Warrior. Creed began with a K. But it's more important than those other two guys I mentioned. Okay, so this wasn't that great of a story. It wasn't that fun. It was interesting, but the plan is never revealed, so we don't know what was going on. It wasn't that satisfying to see the ending. It was good, but it wasn't satisfying. Well, I think actually it was satisfying, but not great. It wasn't that great. Let's just say that it wasn't great, and it just wasn't brilliant. I'm sure the Great Intelligence plan would have been fine if we knew it. If we did know it, then it's very forgettable. Because I can't remember it, for starters. Must have been some sort of taking over the planet. Also, notice the mountain in the reconstruction. It looks like it's kind of turning into a web, like what we see in the Web of Fear. So maybe the Great Intelligence's plan was to create a big giant web across the whole world, and we'll see some of that happen in the Web of Fear, but here it's odd. If we knew what the plan was, we'd have discovered. So that's it from the Abominable Snowmen. I was about to say the Underwater Menace for some reason. It's not that bad. Okay, so I'm going to give this story a 7 out of 10. No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to go back to 6 because the plan. I had it originally at 6. Then I raised it to 7 because it's got some good fun moments, but it's ultimately not that great. Now I've just realised, because we don't know the villain's plot, our plan, then, and it's not done as kind of like, this is a mystery that we've either got to solve, or it's one of those plans that's kind of like left in the dark and we've got to wonder for ourselves. No, it's not one of those ones. It's just never said, or if it is said, it's forgettable. So I'm going to lower this back down to a 6. I had it put to 7 after whilst watching it, but then now just doing this, I've decided that's it. 6. We're going to keep it at 6. So I'm going to give the Abominable Snowmen, this time, definite, a 6 out of 10. Yep, I decided I'm going to lower it back down to a 6 after it. I liked it enough to go up to a 7 during the viewing, but now talking about it and realising that the villain's plan was never revealed, and therefore we don't know whether it be a good plan or not, or if it's the mystery, trying to solve it wasn't satisfying. It wasn't even done in the kind of you have to work it all out kind of situation, or it's left for interpretation. It's nothing like that. It's just not said, or it's forgettable and it's only mentioned once and briefly. So that's why the story's gone back down to my original 6 out of 10 score. I did like it more than I think on the first viewing, but I've only just realised we don't know the plan, and it was. I don't think this story intended us not to know the plan. I think it just forgot to tell us, or it was so brief we just didn't notice or forgot. So that's it for my review of the Abominable Snowmen. Not the greatest episode of the series, but I think it's better than the next story we're going to be watching, as I certainly have I like this one more than this one, which I've seen at least twice before. Next time we'll be looking at the Ice Warriors, and to let you know, this is one of my friend Matthew Moyes' least favourite stories. I think certainly 5 out of these 6 episodes are 5 of his least favourite stories of the entire show, along with at least 1 episode of The Dominators and Hellbent and Twice Upon a Time. Okay, maybe not. That one might not be one of his least favourites, but that and Hellbent he doesn't want to consider canon. But would he put it as one of his worst? I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But certainly, Ice Warriors is one of his least favourite stories. And, yeah, I can see why. It's also one of my least favourites of the Ice Warrior stories. And I'll say it right now, I like the Ice Warriors as the villains, but their stories, it's a kind of a mixed bag. Ice Warriors I'm not so keen on. Seat of Death, depending on the mood, I either like it or I really like it. Curse of Peladon, same situation, except I either like it or I don't. Monster of Peladon, I've never really liked. I mean, there was some points where I thought, okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but it's still. But it used to be my second least favourite of all time. It might still even be, maybe. No, I don't think so, but it could still be a very low down one. Cold War, again, kind of a middle ground one. And Empress of Mars, I think, is maybe the best one. If not, it's certainly one of the higher ones, but it's still not that amazing. And if you've seen my Series 10 ranking, it's one of the lower down ones. At least, certainly bottom half. And Cold War certainly do that on Series 7. Ice Warriors on Season 5, and Monster of Peladon probably would be. I think Ice Warriors and Monster of Peladon would be bottom on Season 5 and 11's, but Seas of Death would be high on Season 6, and Curse of Peladon might even be number 1 of Season 9. Might be. Or definitely high. Shocking. But yes, that's it from the Abominable Snowmen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. Excuse me.